During the summer of 2021, just months after my friends and I graduated from Covenant Day High School in Matthews, North Carolina, the school board announced a new policy that would be put into place that targeted LGBTQ students. The policy, named the Statement on Human Sexuality, could allow school administrators to disrespect students' privacy by outing them to their parents in the case that the school finds out the student does not identify as heterosexual, and even possibly expel those students. This policy, disguised as something righteous and based in religion, only succeeded in making students feel unsafe in a place where they should feel comfortable. Covenant Day School is a private Christian institution, so they are not held to the same non-discrimination standards as public schools. However, that isn't to say that the threat does not exist for public institutions. Over the past few years, and especially in recent months, lawmakers in states across the nation have tried to implement similar policies that target LGBTQ students, making them feel unsafe and unwelcome inside the classroom. These Don't Say Gay bills are part of a decades-long attempt by the GOP to hold onto their evangelical voter base that they picked up in the Reagan era. More than previous Republican candidates, and presidential candidates in general, Reagan made his religion a part of his character. The church in America picked up on this, spawning a new religious right. As the name suggests, this group was both religious, mainly evangelical Christian, and right-leaning politically. Seeing how Reagan made his Christianity a large part of his campaign, the religious right overwhelmingly supported his candidacy and secured his win for the presidency. Since then, this religious right has arguably been the Republican Party's strongest voter base. Because of this, Republican lawmakers have had to keep them happy, leading to policies targeting groups Christians disagree with. Studies have shown that there is a direct correlation between the degree of religious fundamentalism in certain states and the number of laws that target LGBTQ individuals. One type of anti-LGBTQ legislation that has been getting a lot of media attention lately are dubbed Don't Say Gay bills by their opponents due to their purpose of restricting discussion on topics relating to queer sexual and gender identities in public schools. Two recent examples of these bills come from Tennessee and Missouri. In 2005, the Tennessee state legislature began discussing a law that would limit the discussion of sexual identity in public schools to only heterosexuality. It didn't go anywhere until the 2012 and 2013 sessions of the legislature, when the idea is starting to be formalized into a bill that passed the Tennessee House Education Subcommittee without any difficulty. However, due to public backlash, the bill ultimately was not passed. Similarly, in Missouri, the 2012 session of the state legislature drafted its own Don't Say Gay bill. It contained similar language to that of Tennessee's, but it also went a step further by banning pro-LGBTQ student organizations. Missouri's bill failed in a similar fashion to that of Tennessee's. Public backlash spurred by homophobic statements from the bill's proponents, which compared homosexuality to bestiality, prevented the bill from receiving the number of votes needed to pass. Although Tennessee and Missouri's bills ultimately failed, they set the foundation for modern Don't Say Gay bills to succeed, such as the recent bill from Florida. House Bill 1557, also known as the Parental Rights in Education Bill, recently passed the GOP-controlled Florida state legislature and was signed into law by Republican Governor Ron DeSantis in March 2022. The crux of the law is the same as its predecessors. Classroom instruction by school personnel or third parties on sexual orientation or gender identity may not occur in kindergarten through third grade, or in a manner that is not age-appropriate or developmentally appropriate for students in accordance with state standards. Where Florida's version of the bill differs from the versions before it is huge. It passed. Starting in July, teachers in Florida will be able to be sued for showing support towards queer students. According to a recent Gallup poll, 7.1% of Americans now identify as LGBTQ, a number that has been growing since they began tracking the statistic in 2012. So, in a time where more and more Americans are becoming comfortable enough to be open about their sexual identity, it is very saddening that millions of students may no longer be able to find support in their schools. Additionally, putting off education of homosexuality until later years of education may cause children to be put off by their queer classmates because of unfamiliarity with queerness or because of ideas fed to them by their parents. School should be a forum in which children can discuss topics with their peers and teachers in order to create their own opinions, and that should start the minute they walk through the door, not until it's too late. Christians of the religious right are quick to preach about the love and acceptance of Jesus, but slow to extend that love and acceptance towards those that they aren't exactly like themselves. They try to justify their laws by writing them in the name of the parent's right to control a child's education. But what of students' rights to liberty and the pursuit of happiness? What is there to make of the right to free speech of students and teachers? These laws aren't based in morality or the Constitution. They're based on the GOP's long-standing dogma of personal freedom for everyone except for the people who we don't agree with. Florida's new law also poses another threat to queer youth, which is shared with Covenant Day School's new policy. House Bill 1557 explicitly allows school districts to invade students' right to privacy by requiring them to notify parents, quote, if there is a change in the student's services or monitoring related to the student's mental, emotional, or physical health or well-being, and the school's ability to provide a safe and supportive learning environment for the student, end quote. This may seem harmless, but it holds dire implications. The schools in Florida will now be able to notify their parents that their child is queer. Why is this an issue? Well, one only has to Google gay disownment to find thousands of stories of people being completely excommunicated by their families when their identity was found out. Many students may be out to their friends, but not to their family, for fear of the consequences of what may happen if they are found to be LGBTQ. Florida's law will directly put children into harm's way in more ways than one. Students may face discrimination from their peers that arises from lack of comprehensive education early during their development. Additionally, students may face abuse from their family if the school notifies them without the student's consent. This begs a question. Where is the upside? Why would the Republican Party potentially put thousands of children directly into a situation that is unsafe? The answer lies in the Reaganist Revolution and the rise of the religious right. The GOP says their bills are founded in the precepts of personal freedom and morality, but that is not the case. They're simply doing what their Christian mob desires, or else they'll face a political crucifixion.